Not just a store to go get tank tops and khakis and clothes for princess girls named Mercedes and Tasha so that they can feel like they're rich. I'm talking about Banana Republic. And Banana Republic's got frags, some pretty decent ones. So today we're looking at another one from the Icon collection. Hey, what's cracking YouTube? I'm Brandon, and this is DaVinci's Alchemyst. New viewers and subscribers alike, thanks for coming by today and checking out my video on Banana Republic's Icon collection, number 17, Oud Mosaic. I picked up this 75 milliliter bottle from a discounter for $25 or $30, and I believe that right now that's the typical price. Retail sale is for right around $40 for this. They actually also have this in a smaller size. I think it's a 15 ml bottle. That way, if you want to check it out, you don't have to spend a ton of money to try it if you don't have a Banana Republic to go sniff at first. So Banana Republic started doing this Icon collection, and this is typically the same bottle that they have for all of their fragrances. As you can see, it's a pretty decent bottle, nice and heavy. Cap's made of metal, good sprayer on it. Decent coverage. This fragrance opens up relatively spicy, kind of juicy, slightly floral, and it has a very uplifting appeal to it. The oud is not too funky in it. It's actually pretty nice and calm. Gonna go ahead and say that it is synthetic given the price and given the kind of the mellowness of the vibe that's created from the oud. It's definitely not an over funky oud. It's just slightly medicinal, but not over the top. To me, it also has some kind of sweet, woody elements, not right out there in the forefront to choke you out with any sweetness or anything like that, but it's just enough to kind of provide a nice little backbone. There is also this slight hint of a metallic vibe in here for me, not bracing, not bright. It's kind of just like a small glint, if you will. Pretty much out there in the distance. It's really well done. Let's go ahead and talk about the florals that I get out of this. Now, typically rose is paired with oud. You'll see a lot of big name fragrance, oud fragrances like New York Oud, for example, has a decent amount of rose element into it. And there definitely is a bit in this one. Now, I also kind of get a hint of like a saffron note, which is super, super pleasant. And there's no jasmine noted in the published note breakdown on this fragrance, but to me, I get a hint of it. And that hint is that dirty, naughty jasmine pulse, that sort of that indolic sense about it. So for those of you that don't know, indolic is kind of a term that is used to describe almost a slightly decaying, somewhat can be fecal sort of element, which I know it's a lot nastier than it sounds, but that's really not the thing. But it also points at like my favorite description of what indolic is, which is kind of to say lady parts. Haha, lady parts. I'm sorry, I'm like a 12-year-old. Really not sure what that indolic vibe I'm getting comes from. It may not necessarily be purposeful. You know, sometimes in fragrance that happens. This shit's just magic. So before I get into my rating on Oud Mosaic, let's go ahead and cut to my note breakdown. So there's the official notes. Let's hit on the feeling that I have about this fragrance, about 17 Oud Mosaic. So this has a really, really good scent to it. It's not super crazy out of control in the oud department. It's really well balanced in my opinion. So, I mean, it's not like upper tier echelon, but what are you gonna expect for the lower price tag? But it's really a great oud to check out if you're still testing the waters on oud. A little bit above the entry level though, in my opinion, because that oud does come out and the rose is relatively present, and if you're not a big fan of that combination, then this might not be for you. But for me, I give this a 3.5 in the scent category. It is relatively simple and it's kind of linear, but it has a really wonderful feeling to it, and it's definitely very invigorating. It's one that I think everyone should check out. Next category is sillage / projection, lumping them into one. The cloud that comes off of you and then the scent trail that you leave behind you. It's actually pretty prevalent. I've gotten a lot of, comments from other people that they can smell it and, oh, what is that you're wearing? Blah, 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 such and such. And it definitely leaves a bit behind. So this is quite up there. I'm gonna give this a 4 for sillage / projection. It's one of those things you can spray it on your hand and you can hold it way down low, just one spray, and it's wafting up to you at any given moment. So that's what I'm giving it for sillage and projection. Oud Mosaic also does really well in the category of longevity, so I'm giving it a 4 in longevity as well. I put this on and it lasts literally all day, especially at work. It's another one of those things where you put it on your clothes and it lasts a whole lot longer, but typically about 5 sprays on this will, last me a good 8 to 10 hour day. So that's the reason why I'm giving it a 4 on longevity. Mashing up all those numbers together gives it an overall score of about a 3.8. For a cheap fragrance, a 3.8, you really can't go wrong. So I suggest you hustle your little butt down to the old Banana Republic, try to avoid the khakis, and get a sniff of this. If you can't, try to find a sample or a decant. If you're feeling brave, check the discounter sites, fragrancenet.com, fragrancebuy.ca, and Max Aroma. Typically they have it for pretty cheap, and a lot of times they'll have the little itty bitty 15 milliliter bottles for cheap as well. So definitely a suggested to put onto your radar. Moving on to the synesthesia category in my reviews, what song I hear predominantly whenever I put this on. A lot of times slapping on my first few sprays, I get 1,000 Suns by Linkin Park. It's kind of a somber groove, but it has this real driven beat to it, and it just kind of pours into my head when I hear it. If you haven't had a chance to listen to that song, I will link it down below for Spotify. Hope you have a chance to check it out. It's a beautiful, beautiful song. Beautiful, beautiful fragrance. So that's it for my review on Oud Mosaic. Thank you guys very much for coming down to check out my video. Once again, if you are not a subscriber to my channel, please take the time to do that now. Hit the thumbs up. Go ahead and drop a comment down below. Let me know if any of you have tried any of the other Icon collection fragrances. I have a video up of Black Platinum. You guys can go check that out up there. That's another one that I really, really enjoyed. It was one of my first starting videos since I started my channel. Don't forget to beat the shit out of that notification bell. That way you know when I'm dropping more of my videos. Hope everybody's having a beautiful day, beautiful night, beautiful week. And remember, whatever it is you're doing, keep calm, stink pretty. See you next time.